Front Row Racing on F1 2017. I've got F1 Roadrunner and Curly Wurly on my side. Guys, who are we doing tonight?
Great, I'm doing great.
And you're Curly?
Yeah, doing well. Really looking forward to this one. It's a great track, and yeah, we should have some very close racing.
Thank you very much, Curly. So tonight we are in Canada, a circuit known for long straights and just a few corners. It promises to have a lot of battling going on tonight. But before we have battling, we need drivers. So who are the drivers we have today? So we got Hindle and Konzo in the Mercedes, two very experienced drivers. In the Ferrari, we got Anders 8C and Schumi 3 Garcia. For Red Bull Racing, we got Box 190. I'll have a look on him tonight. Williams Racing tonight with Drew and not with Lance Stroll tonight. For Sahara Force India Formula 1 team, we got Danny Railton. I'm sure he's looking to get a podium tonight and secure a really great finish. Renault Sport Formula 1 team, we got Formula 1 Luke and a new driver tonight. We will have a strong look for him on track today. It's GP1 Hamilton. Inside information tells me that he could be pretty fast, but he just needs to show it. For Scuderia Toro Rosso, we got Alain Montine, a steady driver, and I'm sure he's looking for a great result tonight. For McLaren, they're not hoping for any engine malfunction, but they are going to get it all online. Caribbean Crush and coming to get you for a nice drive. And last but not least, we've got Curly, who's not driving. So guys, are we ready to send these guys to the truck?
Yeah, let's send them to track.
Alright, so guys, we are in Canada tonight. I think historically we got a bit of chance for rain.
Yes, of course. Canada is very famous for that, for changing conditions. So it's a high probability that we're gonna see some rain, and probably in quali or in race. We'll see. It will add some action today.
Alright. That I'm looking forward to that, and then we have some racing without some DRS, which maybe some drivers just get used to. We need some daring overtakes on some chicanes to make a pass happen.
Yeah, basically the overtaking zones are known. You can do is a dive bomb into turn one, or before the last chicane, you need to be daring to put a move over there. Even at the turn before the back straight, I don't know what to call it. Anyways, there are three possible overtaking zones in this circuit. So let's see if anybody pulls a move and somewhere we won't expect it.
All right. So, thank you very much for your explanation of some overtaking opportunities on this track. So, just in a bit, we'll see what tires our drivers have tonight. Well, Gunk is joining. So let's see. Can someone look at the weather we have on the session tonight?
Yeah, resident weatherman on the job here. We've got a beautiful, bright and sunny qualifying session, followed by partly cloudy conditions all the way through the race. So it's looking like a dry one here in Montreal.
Ooh. Alright, then we have to take a look who is on edge tonight, who has practiced the most, and who can deliver on the highest moment of stress in qualifying. So, who is coming out at first? Force India. Let's see who that one is. Renault.
You send an invite to our new guy?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Danny Railton who was first out on track in Force India, going into first couple of corners. Let's see which tires he's in. He's on the Ultra Softs.
Alright. So an aggressive strategy right off the bat, if he carries on with a lap.
Well, if you take care of your rear tires and the traction zones in the circuit, you can run away with a single stop in the race. So tire wear is not that of a big deal over here. The circuit is somehow soft on tires, or we can say moderate, but if somebody's doing lots of lockups or lots of drifting of corners, yeah, they need to take care of the rear tires, and there's also a chance for a two-stop because the pit lane is a short one. Actually, it's the shortest of the racing calendar. So we'll see who's.
Yeah, you even got turn 1 quite a bit, so it might be handy to have some alternative strategies tonight.
Yeah, with the just with the pit lane time, I mean, you miss the final chicane and turn 1, and you kind of come in with a nice wide angle through 2. In most circuits, the pit lane delta, the amount of time you lose, is around about the 20-second mark. At some of the slower pit lanes, it can be upwards of 25 seconds. Here in Canada, you're only looking at about a 13 or 14-second loss in the pit lane. So while there is fairly low tire wear, doing a two-stop strategy is not completely out of the question at this circuit, simply because you lose so little time in the pit lane. So that can allow you to do an extra stop and run, you know, these ultra soft tires for a larger portion of the race. And you know, these tires are very, very quick around here. So I'm not sure if we'll see that tonight. Perhaps if someone gets stuck in a train early on, and they might just bolt into the pits and maybe go for a two-stop. But yeah, I don't think drivers will be having too much difficulties in terms of making the distance on tire wear if they do try the one stop. It just depends on whether they're able to stay ahead of those two stoppers.
Yeah, so the question is, you might be able to do a one stop, but do you want to? So Danny Railton, he opens with a 1:12.3, contender for Paul Curley.
I think we'll see times a little quicker than that. I think we'll definitely see some of the guys get into the 11s, maybe into the 10s. Probably some of the series and championship drivers will be up there for the reserve drivers. It might be a little bit more difficult, though. We do have one of our reserve drivers, Anders, has just gone into provisional pole with a 1:10.8. So
that's a great lap.
Yeah, he's setting down a very, very good lap early on. That's a bit of a statement, to be honest, from him. He's a long way ahead of the rest of the field.
GP1 Hamilton is on a starting the flying lap. You want to jump on pole with him?
GP1 Hamilton, I'm on him right now on his shiny Renault with his glowing brakes.
Yeah, the banana car.
Yeah, you could call it that. But
yeah, because I drive it, so it's yellowish, so a banana car. So let's see Sector 1. Actually, it's a good Sector 1, 19.8.
Right. Well, if you can keep us posted.
It's about a tenth and a half behind Anders at the moment, so not too far off. But yeah, I mean the Renault. I don't know, Niels, if you've driven this car a lot. I drive it in another league. It's a very stable car to drive, I think, compared to some of the other ones. It's quite consistent and reliable. I don't think the difference between the cars on F1 2017 is as large as it was on 16, but I do think that the cars have very minor sort of handling characteristics that are different from each other. So yeah, just this banana Renault is quite stable. So yeah, it's a nice car to drive, but sometimes it can feel like it's maybe just a little bit understeery. It's a solid lap from GP1 Hamilton, though. He goes provisionally P2.
11.2, yeah. Back to the banana thing. Driving from the cockpit of a Renault is trouble because of those mirrors that are sticking up.
Sorry to cut you off. I just saw GP Hamilton trying to make a pass on a Red Bull car, and he just smashed into the side of him. I don't know if they didn't really notice each other. Well, of course they noticed, but.
Yeah, that was Box 190, but I think what happened there was that Box was on a lap, and the GP1 had just been quite close behind him and has obviously been a little faster through that first sector and actually caught up to him. And yeah, I mean, there's not really much you can do about that. I mean, if Box is on a lap, then you know, that's just sort of it's just kind of tough luck for GP1 Hamilton, because if he's on a flying lap himself, he can't be expected to really get out of the way. So yeah, that's just really an unfortunate incident. Although I do believe that actually coming to get you has just run into the back of Box on one of his laps as well. So actually, I think it's an out lap, so that's a little bit bizarre.
Oh, yeah,
and
definitely.
Box left the session.
Yeah.
I think that was a ghost car that the guys bumped into because it was ghosting.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah,
kind of
I think
curious.
that
I
might be the case.
saw in the left bottom of my screen that GP1 Hamilton got a 0-place grid penalty.
Oh.
That's kind of curious about baby from Charlie Whiting tonight. So
Yeah, they gave him a penalty and pulled it back.
yeah. So on a serious note, I'm with Schumi Garcia. He is on a flyer going down on the second to last straight. See if he can go one and left to the final chicane. He takes the shortest line. Box is back. You see, and he gets fifth time at the moment with a 1:12.072. Guys, can you see who's on a flyer tonight?
See how we go.
Yeah, Drew is
go to Drew.
on the last chicane now. Let's see what time he sets.
I think he might just be warming himself up for a lap. If my timing board is correct, I think he's just starting his lap now.
Okay.
Yeah, he just he didn't. Well, at least he didn't set a faster time than he had previously. But let's see what he does for this lap on. Looks pretty tight, to be honest.
Yeah, but it's a bit slow.
Oh,
3
yeah.
times of the pole position.
Well, he's got a 1:13.8 now, so it might be improvement for him, which is kind of most important, I think.
Yeah,
we
I
do
guess
have
so.
Anders on another lap now at the moment, our provisional pole sitter.
What sector is he?
Shumi, he is in the just ending the first sector, and he's
All right.
going faster as well. That's a 19.5 through the first sector. That's a very, very fast first sector from Anders. And yeah, he seems to be quite a long way ahead of the rest of the field at the moment as he comes down to this, well, the third chicane. This really is a circuit full of chicanes here in Canada, this main corner type. But yeah, coming down to the hairpin now, you're looking at that sort of 100-meter board. He does a good job to find that, but he's actually, I think he may have just locked that inside front right tire, and he's gone a little bit deep into the hairpin. So he's lost himself a little bit of time through there, and that'll cost him on the run all the way down this back straight. Now the final chicane, you've really got to be aggressive into here, throw the car in. You got to get the line absolutely perfect. He's a little bit cautious on the first apex, and that causes him troubles through the final part of the corner. He doesn't actually improve on his time, so it looks like he'll probably go for a second lap here. Who else have we got on laps?
We've got
Danny Railton's just starting a lap. Formal and Luke is currently in the middle sector. Oh, he's had a huge oversteer moment actually there. He's running and just tapped the outside wall on the run to the hairpin. What is his time looking like? He is actually, I think, a little bit down on his first lap there, at least through the middle sector.
I think the track temperatures are dropping because there are some clouds going over the circuit now. It was clear, sun clear, now it's cloudy, a bit of clouds, so the track temps are dropping, and that might affect the tire temperatures. Curly, would you go for a low downforce setup, or what you would do, because you have a very long straight here?
Yeah, I would lean towards. I would definitely lean towards a lower downforce setup here in Canada. A huge amount of this track is spent at full throttle, and yeah, the main things you want to be focusing on in terms of setting up your car for this circuit is straight line speed, but also traction. Coming out of that hip, the hairpin onto that back straight. That's one of the well, it's the most important traction point on this circuit, and one of the most important on the calendar, because if you can get a good run out of there and you've got fairly low wings in the race, nothing's going to get past you. So yeah, that's really what you want to be focusing your setup on, that, and just making sure that it's stable and balanced for these chicanes, so you can really throw the car into them.
GP1 Hamilton is flying. He just bettered his first sector by 3 times, and now he's going into the last turn before the straight, half a second faster than his time. So we might see him on pole. I don't know. Let's see if he can make the last chicane clean, especially with those sausage curve. Very they can unstable the car. Okay, it's a bit clean. Let's see if he can get a pole here. 109. Oh, yeah, I get it by. Oh
Hold
my
on a
God!
moment, we've got
less than
Anders
10.
on the run to the line as well, and I think that he is going faster now than he was before.
He's
but
out of fuel.
he
He's
ran out of fuel.
fuel.
I think that's
Oops.
just cost him pole.
Wow.
I'm certain that's just cost him pole here. It definitely has, running out of fuel. He actually improved on his previous time. He set an absolutely rapid first sector, a 19.3. That's way ahead of everyone else in the whole field. So, yeah, I think he might be running perhaps slightly higher wings than the other drivers if he's that quick in sector 1. But, yeah, that's going to be gutting. Just
That's really unfortunate.
had to go for that extra lap and wasn't quite able to make it to the end.
Can Caribbean Crush spoil the party? No, I don't think so. He's 40-0 in sector 2, so I think GP1 Hamilton is making an impression in his first race. Let's see.
Yeah, so guys, who is on the flyer on the last lap that is a reserve?
I don't think we have any reserves left at the moment. They're still going on their laps. We've got a couple drivers still going. Caribbean Crush, one of our championship drivers, he's just crossing the line now. He stays in 4th place. Certek Karatsepe, I believe, is on a lap, as well as Konzo. Konzo actually on the super soft tires. That's an interesting decision there. He's about to cross the line. Though he stays in 7th place, so it is just Certek Karatsepe that's the only driver left out there.
Considering the fact that the the pit lane is slower, I think that's a cunning thing to do to start on the super softs, especially in the mid pack. You might do an undercut, a huge undercut here.
Well, I think if you're starting the super softs, you're probably going to be running longer than the other drivers.
Sorry, yeah, overcut, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that situation, you know, perhaps if some of the other drivers pit early and then get stuck in traffic behind you, that can work. Generally, you don't want to be sort of stuck overcutting, but yeah, I mean, if the drivers in front do pit and then get stuck behind other cars, then it can pay dividends. And obviously you'll have the quicker tires at the end of the race as well. But yeah, I generally would lean towards pretty much always qualifying on the fastest tire. But we have seen from Konzo this season and last season and the World Series that he does like to qualify on the harder compounded tires.
So a confirmation that GP1 Hamilton has took pole, Ander losing it in the last meters by running out of fuel, Shimi Garcia in 3rd, Certek Karatsepe in 4th, Caribbean Crush 5th, Formula 1 Luke 6th, Konzo 7, Danny Railton 8, Drew 9, Box 10, X-Symbol 11, Coming to Get Ya 12, and Adam Montine not doing any runs, which is strange.
Yeah, I do believe we've also got Gonk and I think Overdijking as well joined during that session, so they'll be starting at the back of the grid, which means that they'll be behind me on the grid, so just make them aware of that I will be trundling off the line and try not to rear end my car.
That would be a great idea for a start. I like hectic starts, but would be a bit too unfortunate for them. I'm looking forward to the start. I mean, Anders, I'd imagine that he is pretty shocked that he lost it on the last meters, and I'm sure he's looking for revenge on turn 1. And looking at turn 1, that might just happen if he gets a good run off the line. So here's a confirmation of qualifying. GP1 Hamilton snatches pole with 45 thousandths of a second, and Shumi Garcia, Certek Karatsepe, Caribbean Crush, Formula 1 Luke, Konzo, Danny Railton, Drew, Box, Hindle, and after that Coming to Get You, who didn't set a time. Guys, this will be great. I feel it tonight.
Yeah, very short run to turn 1, and that turn 1-2 complex on the first lap is almost certain to end up in some contact, so keep your eyes peeled, particularly in the midfield. We're likely to have a couple front wings coming off. It's just, yeah, it's a particularly tricky corner, especially on the first lap when you've got cold tires.
So, how's it gonna be? 30 seconds to go. Will we see? We have a car lagging on the grid. I see it here from the back.
Well, Luckily, it's not. It's not. There's nothing happening on my screen, so let's hope it stays where it is right now, and let's get ourselves excited for this race start going into turn 1. All right, 4 lights, 3 lights, 2 lights, 1 light, and they're off. I think, yeah, there they're going. It was a bit of a delay on my screen. There's a Ferrari and a Renault going side by side. They keep it clean. They're 3 wide into turn 1, a few rows back. There's contact, there is mayhem, but nobody is crashing.
Yeah, it's a clean start by GP1 Hamilton, but Ander is putting pressure on him in the first couple of corners. Will he do? He died. No, he's waiting for the straight. I think he's waiting for the straight.
I've got my eyes on Caribbean Crush, who has been dangling around with the Ferrari of Schumi Garcia in front of him. They got pretty feisty on a few corners, and Caribbean Crush is looking left and right on Schumi Garcia to make a pass onto the hairpin.
Oh, and he runs into his back. He loses part of his wing. And runs into the back of GP1 Hamilton, going into the why not get this turn properly? I think now Ander is with a half wing. Will he pit? No, he doesn't pit. That's a dirty move.
Oh, he's in the Wall of Champions.
Wall of Champions.
Oh.
There's a Williams also in the Wall of Champions, Drew. What an exciting start.
Got a few guys in the pits as well. We've got Gonk, Konzo and Over Dykink in the pits, all with front wing damage. Konzo losing a lot of positions off the start. So unfortunate for those guys, also clipping the Wall of Champions. But who knows, maybe some good omens for the future.
Oh yeah, we've got a teammate battle right now.
Down the inside. Fun's very, very deep through there. He's completely cut his teammate off, and he's run wide. And actually, Caribbean Crush getting very close to the back of the Ferrari there, nearly running into the back of him. Aggressive move from Schumi Garcia. I don't think there was any contact between the two Ferraris, but Anders might be feeling a little bit unhappy about that one. Really just hung out to dry by his teammate there, as Caribbean has a little look down the inside, but he's not. He is actually going to have a look down the inside, but no, he's not going to get the move done on Anders. Anders just running a little wide, leaving the door open a bit, but not able to, Caribbean not able to find a way through. But Hindle, he was very close to Caribbean, but it actually looks like Caribbean's running, well, much lower wings than Hindle, because he's just pulling away from him in that slipstream behind Anders, and Anders does peel into the pits. He's had enough of that wing damage. He's going to come in and get himself some new tires, and yeah, at this point I would assume he's got another stop to make. He's going for the super soft tires. He'll probably look to run about 20 laps on those, and then maybe go for another set of ultras at the end.
Yeah, two stoppers definitely for him.
Oh, on my screen at least I saw Caribbean Crush going for a major Tokyo drift. I don't know if it was lag. I thought he just touched the grass for just a tiny bit, but on my screen it sent him totally sideways. Great stuff to see.
Now the closest battle is between Hindle, Schumi Garcia and Formula 1 Luke. So let's see if Schumi Garcia can handle Hindle.
That's a funny word combination, yeah.
yeah, Schumi Garcia has like have a dance before, behind Formula 1 Luke. With DRS now, will he try to get him into the second DRS zone?
Hold on, we're going to come in to get you going on the inside of Danny Railton into the final chicane, and actually Danny Railton's gone into the side of coming to get you, and he's spun it. He didn't make his way, he didn't make any contact with the wall there, but that's just unfortunate. I think that's more so sort of contact model than anything else, but coming to get you is up past, and so is Alan Martin getting a position from
I've got to cut you off. We got Hindle on P5 battling with a Ferrari, and they get pretty feisty. I mean, we had a clean start, but this race is nothing like that one. There's a McLaren having a look when Hindle is not paying attention. He left the door open, and Caribbean Crush just crashed into his inside. And Caribbean Crush, he crashed into his inside and took that position right out of his hands.
Yeah, just a note now, Niels. Could pop the tire choices up on the broadcast as well. Sorry, we've got Shimmy Garcia around the outside of Formula 1 Luke into the hairpin. Formula 1 Luke's got a considerable amount of damage. I'm not quite sure what's happened here, but he's got basically no front wing, and in fact Caribbean has just gone clean around the outside of him as well. Formula 1 Luke is going to have to pit here. His car is very severely damaged.
Ooh, there's a battle
down the inside, but Formula 1 Luke does go straight on for the pits, and Caribbean is looking very, very close to the back of Shimmy Garcia along this pit straight, but he's not quite close enough to have a look into turn 1. Shimmy Garcia very fast a straight line, and it's a little bit of lag going on here with Caribbean. He's all over the place on my screen.
Yeah, he's on my screen. He is not all over the place, but he is drifting and having some fun. Yeah. Now he's drifting and having lag a lot.
I hope that doesn't cause issues for the guys around him, especially the guys behind him.
Oh yeah.
And the penalties starting to pour. Danny Railton gets a 3 second. A moment ago, Ender gets. Oh,
Enders!
A 5 second stop-go penalty. His race
Formula 1
is
Luke is out of this race. He is in the wall at the exit of the pit lane.
Wow.
He's just been in the pits to set a new set of tyres, a new set of the soft compound. I think he was planning on running to the end, but I didn't see what happened there. I'm not sure if he made contact with another car or if he's just completely overcooked the pit exit and run off the track into the wall. It is a pretty easy thing to do with the fairly cool tires and the marbles out there. It's yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. Look, as Caribbean Crusher's just absolutely whacked the wall of champions. I think he's lost a little bit of his wing if he was not already missing some end plates.
Gonk, can you, Roadrunner, can you have a look at the battle for Gonk? I saw the gap decreasing by a lot, but he's now losing time. Is that a battle we need to have a look on?
Well, he's a bit far behind Konzo. I don't think he's gonna pull anything, put any pressure on him. Konzo's having let's say a calm race.
Alright.
But Gonk's car is also lagging a bit, going on the grass before turn 1.
Yeah, I do also have a little bit of information on Drew's crash at the Wall of Champions. He's just said that he skipped a gear and the car just slid under him. I'm assuming he's meaning he shifted down one too many times and just had the rear of the car kick out, and that's what sent him into the wall.
It's better to jump into Caribbean. Caribbean is now 3/10 behind Shimmy Garcia. Will he pull a move like the moves that he's pulling now? He's now going to the last chicane and getting a 3-second penalty, cutting the corner. Will he do? He's doing
a very good job to get out of the way there. So Caribbean off the inside of turn 1, and he does get the move done. Good clean overtake, very well negotiated from this group to get around the lapped car. Caribbean pulling off that overtake, and pretty awkward conditions there. And yeah, he's looking to get a bit of a move on now. Hindle is right behind this group, and he's on the super soft tires. And we're now getting to the point where these super soft tires are going to start being a little bit faster than the ultra softs.
Right. So I'm really happy we are having a look at this battle, man. We've got 3, maybe 4 cars getting pretty feisty with each other. It's really entertaining for us to watch as commentators. We are certainly not having a boring race tonight. So we got a Ferrari just moving to a McLaren. They are all getting DRS. We got a real DRS train coming on, and the McLaren with its engine, he might be a bit scared.
Well, look at the traction though for Caribbean. Shimmy was right up behind him on the exit of that hairpin, and Caribbean just absolutely took off. Phenomenal traction from the McLaren there, and Shimmy looks much faster in a straight line, but he's struggling to get close enough because of that advantage in the traction zones the Caribbean seems to have, as Shimmy has absolutely obliterated the track limits in turn 1. That's not what you want to see. Yeah, Hindle just seems to be sitting behind this pair. He's a little bit, he's just kind of content right now to let these guys battle it out and destroy their tires, and I don't think it'll be too long before we start to see some of these leading drivers think about the pits. If they're on a 2-stop, I would assume they'll come in around about now. If they're planning to go into the soft tires, they could really pit any time from now on. If they want to go super soft, probably just a few more laps for that pit window to open.
Overtaking with a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, he's not having a really lucky race tonight. I saw him going to the pits really early on. I think, oh, we got contact between Schumi Garcia and Caribbean Crush, battling for P3 at the moment.
Here comes Hindle.
Yeah, that will compromise him.
Oh, a little bit of lag on my screen there. Almost Schumi Garcia just sliding backwards into Hindle. But look at the straight line speed of that Ferrari.
Wow.
He is so fast along that back straight. And yeah, just Hindle and Caribbean really struggling to match that kind of pace. And assuming that Schumi Garcia's got some very skinny wings on that Ferrari this evening, because he is an absolute rocket there. And that's going to create problems later on in the race. I do know that Schumi Garcia is he's very good on his tires. That's one thing I know particularly about his driving style, is that he seems to be able to take the tires longer than pretty much anyone else. So I think with that straight line speed and the tire wear that he normally has, he'll be one to watch, particularly in the latter parts of this race.
Do you think we will see such fights in the real thing, McLaren, Ferrari, Mercedes next season?
I think we can all hope.
We can all hope, man.
Because that's a very unfamiliar scene, seeing a McLaren in front of Ferrari and a Mercedes. When God gets a 3-second penalty, I think now Schumi Garcia is taking it, but the traction of Caribbean Crush is super, and now
yeah, look at Hindle as well around the outside. He's just got a phenomenal exit there. So Schumi Garcia, oh, he is actually missing a little bit of his front left end plate. So that might have something to do with him struggling at the hairpin. He is going to have a little look down the inside. Oh, not a good place to try and go too wide. He just kind of pulled out of it at the last moment there, and Hindle maintaining that position very close between those two. We've got Caribbean in the pits. We've also got Certec Karatsepi. He's on the super soft tires. Caribbean Crush, he goes super soft as well, and a new front wing for Caribbean. So yeah, this is going to open up a very good opportunity for Hindle, because I think, well, yeah, Caribbean and Schumi are going to need those front wing changes. Hindle, you know, he doesn't need a front wing change, so he's got a good 5 seconds or so to play with here.
Oh, well, I believe GP1 Hamilton didn't pit yet. What is the pit window, do you think? Somewhere around...
Oh, Schumi has hit a wall. He's lost a little bit more of his wing. He's still going, but yeah, he's going to have to pit soon. I think in terms of the pit window, really any time from sort of now until lap, if you're very good on your tires, maybe sort of lap 15, 16, thereabouts, could be your sort of opportunity on the ultra soft tires. To pit in and put some super softs on over. Dyking's just gone clean around the outside of Danny Railton through the third chicane as well. That was a good move.
Alright. So we got Schumi Garcia going into the pits, making sure he doesn't get a penalty. I saw a lot of guys getting penalties from speeding in the pit lane. Let's see what he puts on. We go out with the ultra soft, and he puts ultra soft on again to make a fast stint and indeed make a 2-stop. We talked about in.
Are you sure on that one? On my screen, it's the soft compound tires for Schumi Garcia. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it sucks.
I think at this point, anyone that's stayed out this long on the ultra softs will be looking at a 1-stop, regardless of whether they go on the super softs or the softs. The super softs should do about 25 laps or so here, but they'll be pretty worn at the end of it.
Well, the viewers might see it's kind of funny that on his car I see well, now they're yellow, or well, they were ultra softs, and on the yeah, they're ultra softs on the car. There are softs on the timing screen. That's really odd. Let's see some other drivers.
We've had this problem a couple times with spectators that aren't the hosts seem to be getting sort of tire glitches, but it is the soft tires on this, whatever the timing tower says is the correct compound of tires, regardless of what color you're seeing actually on the Pirelli tires on your screen.
Right.
I think the pack is spread out now, with the leader staying out, continuing on the ultra softs. Would you like me to drop the question of the day?
You're taking the words out of my mouth. Let's hear the question of the day.
Okay, since we're in Canada, Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in French, which year did Gilles Villeneuve win his first race? That's from an old man asking the young generation.
Well, all this is just relative, you know. What is really old? Well, that's not the question of the day. The question of the day is when did Gilles Villeneuve, in what year, or maybe exact for the bonus question, when, where, we want to know it all. So, any guys in the comments, please let us know when did Gilles Villeneuve win his first Grand Prix, when, where, but the first question is when. So, pop your answers, and the podium sitters will also get this question at the end.
I'll tell you one thing that is getting a little bit old. No, it's not Roadrunner, it's GP1 Hamilton's Ultra Soft tyres. Onto the 13th lap running these tyres. He did qualifying on them as well, so these have got to be getting towards the end of their life now. I'm assuming that we'll see him in the pits relatively soon for a set of the Super Softs. Hendel is starting to close in this gap. He's just knocked off a couple seconds in the last few laps, so yeah, that's starting to come down fairly quickly. And in terms of other battles, things are starting to close up a little bit more across the grid. We've got Overdyking coming up behind the back of Alain Montine. He's actually closing in on him very quickly. Overdyking, one of those guys to do an early stop, but of course, you know, we've all raced him. He's a quick driver, and he's looking to make his way back up through the field. Caribbean's also on the back of this pair as well, on considerably newer tyres than these two. In fact, Caribbean's going to have a move up the inside of Overdyking, and Overdyking, he's been on these tyres for an extra 12 laps on Caribbean, and there's nothing he can really do about it. As Caribbean will probably get past Alain Montine on this back straight as well. And yeah, he's pretty close behind him, but in terms of the straight line speed, is he going to have enough? He is closing quite quickly on this Toro Rosso here. Is he going to have a look down into the final chicane? He's fairly late on the brakes, but he's not going to be bold enough to try and make a move happen through there. Here comes Overdyking around the outside of Caribbean Crush, down into turn 1. Overdyking with a much better run out of that chicane. There's actually a little bit of contact between Overdyking and Caribbean, and yeah, the bit of wheel banging there. Caribbean's run into the back of Alain Montine and broken his front wing. He is up past Overdyking. He sort of maintains his position there, but he's cost himself a lot of time with that broken wing. Overdyking is missing some wing as well. I'm not quite sure when that's happened.
Well, Alain Montine didn't do...
Sorry, Caribbean up the inside of Alain Montine, really throwing it up the inside there, and now Alain Montine has got damage as well. And again, I'm not entirely sure if that was from before now, or...
He pulled out of it.
Yeah, thinks twice about it. He's going to have another look down into the hairpin now. Here comes Overdyking, who's going to be the latest breaker down into this hairpin. They're very, very evenly matched. Bit of wheel banging. Overdyking's now got the inside line, and yeah, he is through. And if I'm Alain Montine right now, get in the pits, grab some soft tires, and then get a new front wing, because he's losing lots of time right now.
GP1 Hamilton in the pits. He's going to super softs. It is down to third now. He's gonna come out in front of the fight that's behind, way back. Those guys are way back now. So
well, I'll tell you what, Serta Karatepe's undercut him. Serta Karatepe was in second place before these pit stops happened, and he pitted I think about 5 or 6 laps ago, and look at that, he's jumped himself in front of GP1 Hamilton. So if Hamilton wants to get that net lead of the race back, he's going to have to pass Surtek here.
Yeah, but can Surtek make a one-stop with his undercut? That's the question for me.
It is possible. I do know from when I raced around here in another league, though, there was one guy that pitted. He was planning a 2-stop strategy, boxed, I think it was lap 6 or 7, and then bailed on that and converted to a 1-stop strategy, and actually pulled the tyres through to the end of the race from then, and that was a set of super soft. So yeah, I think if you're very kind to your tyres, it is possible. Caribbean Crush appears to have lagged out or something.
He disconnected.
He's disconnected, okay, showing him on an out lap at the moment on my screen, which is a little bit bizarre. I think the game's getting confused what session it's in, but yeah, it looks like we have lost Caribbean, and that opens up opportunity for Overdyking and Alain Montine, but these guys are really struggling with those front wings, and now Shimi Garcia on his soft compound tyres is starting to catch them.
So Hamilton has catched Serta Karatepe. He is now behind him in going into sector 2. I think Certec has taken a gamble by doing a very early undercut, and so going to the end might work for him. But his tires are like 5 laps older, and GP1 Hamilton is off pressure tires. So let's see if Certec is an aggressive and fair driver, and let's see if GP1 Hamilton can play with him, because Certec is a championship driver.
So the only thing that GP Hamilton needs to do is get within the 1 second to open his DRS and just have an attack.
Garcia's very close Alamontine through that hairpin there, but once again we're seeing him. He seems to be struggling a little bit on traction. Now I'm not entirely sure why that is. But oh, look at that straight line speed. He's rapidly closing up on Alamontine down towards the final chicane, and actually Alamontine pulls into the pits, and that's put Shimmy Garcia off a little bit. He missed his braking point, I think, due to that, and he's run very deep into the chicane. Coming to get you is very close to him now through into turn 1, but he's not quite close enough to make a move. Shimmy Garcia does get the place on Alamontine, who has pitted as well as Overdyking. I don't know what tyres Overdyking started the race on. I'm assuming is the Ultra Softs. Now onto another set of the Super Softs after pitting on lap 1. I think he will go to the end from now. But yeah, Alamontine has decided to get... Oh no, he's not actually changed his front wing. I think that's a mistake there. He's now on a set of the soft compound tyres, but he's still got that broken wing, so I doubt that he's selected the option for it.
GP1 Hamilton's within DRS.
Alright, so we got GP1 Hamilton going on to the back straight with DRS, with Slipstream. He is kind of far away to make a lunge on...
coming to get you.
Coming to get you, yeah, but we're looking at GP Hamilton, who's a reserve. But Slipstream coming to get you for a bit. Yeah, he's really close. He's really close. He's going for it. Yeah, he tips it up. And... Ooh. We need to have a word with the stewards about that one.
I don't know about that one. I mean, he kind of went for the move, but that's a one-line corner, and
he had position.
That's a tricky one. You've really got to get through there. You've really got to get your nose in front if you want to be making that move. Yeah, it's just there's really not enough space through that chicane. It's one of the sort of tightest corners on the whole calendar, and. Yeah, that's unfortunate for coming to get you. I don't think he's gotten any damage from that. He's lost a little bit of time due to the half spin. He's lost position to Konzo, but he does seem to have his car intact, so he does have an opportunity to get after Shimmy Garcia and perhaps get some revenge with an overtake. But yeah, he's lost around about 7 seconds to him.
That is really unfortunate. In my opinion, the attacking car had position, but. You know, with these kind of races, you got a tiny bit of lag, and boom, that's it. And it was a good battle, and well, let's carry on.
King's very close to Alamontine. He's going to actually go down the inside on the run to the hairpin, very late on the brakes, and now on the traction. He does actually hold it even with that inside line, so he's got himself ahead for the back straight. He's also got the DRS because he was behind at the detection point, which is actually well, it's just before the hairpin. So Overdyking has gotten this move done on Alamontine, who's struggling with this half front wing and soft compound tires. He's considerably slower than Overdyking at the moment. Hamilton's inching up closer to Certec Karatepe. He's not closing in the gap too quickly, but it is kind of slowly but surely, slowly but surely edging down.
He's
now
going.
just 3.5 tenths.
He's
Certec's run wide.
Wow!
Certec Karatepe, and I think he's maybe damaged his wing as well there, but he's I'm not sure what happened. He might have just locked up going into that hairpin, but there's the position for GP1 Hamilton, Certec Karatepe. I'm not sure, maybe just cracking under the pressure there, I don't know, but yeah, that's GP1 Hamilton up into the, well, effectively the net lead once Hindle pits. Overdyking having a little look at Danny Railton.
And he has a
Karatepe. Oh, that's really unfortunate.
Going very slow into the pit. Why the heck did they give him that stop and go penalty?
It's very slow pit lane. Overdyking down the inside of Danny Railton to the final chicane. That should be a fairly simple move. Overdyking is more than a car length ahead by the time they get to the braking zone, and he is through Certec Karatepe. he's going aggressive. Ultra soft tires for him. They should make it to the end. He's going to be very, very quick from now on. He will just come out in front of this this battle of overtaking and Danny Railton. So yeah, he's got himself a brand new wing as well, but he'll have 5 seconds extra at the end of the race. That'll be added onto his final race time.
So guys, I saw a lot of guys with having a lot of penalties. Would we see a disqualification tonight? And well, I can't imagine for the race results.
I don't think so. The game doesn't disqualify you for the amount of penalties. It disqualifies you if you're running in the wrong way, or if you park your car in the middle of the track without moving. So it's a matter of like a lotto, collecting penalties.
Right.
Al Montine on the back of Danny Railton. Roadrunner, you might be a very, very clean driver, but I do think it is possible to actually get disqualified for the number of penalties.
Yeah, I think
I'll carry on with that
yeah.
in a moment. Al Montine is sizing up Danny Railton down into the final chicane now. He is on the inside line and makes it to the apex, but it's not going to matter because Danny Railton has bailed out of it. He's in the pits.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, but Al Montine, he grabs that position. But yeah, I do believe it is actually possible to get disqualified for the number of penalties. It's a lot. I think you've got to get
21 seconds?
region of about, no, I think it's about 40, 35, 40, somewhere like that. So you're really looking at about 12, 13 corner cutting penalties, but I do believe it is possible.
Yeah, it is.
So
it's more possible if you got a few warnings for collisions and stuff like that, which is entirely possible in this race, considering what we saw tonight.
Well, looking at how the guys are going into the pit and the guys behind them trying to overtake, the pit entry here is very, very tricky. You might at one point trying to pull a move and the guy in front is thinking of going into the pit. I don't know. They should be thinking about the pit entry in Canada. It's really, really irritating, and it frustrates the guys that's very behind, especially if it's wet.
Oh yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, very, very tough to get the car slowed down in there, but also, I mean, just when you're battling with another car and, into that chicane and you think, I'm going to have to be later on the brakes than them, and you might extend your braking point just a little bit just to try and get that extra a few inches on them, and then all of a sudden they go shooting off in front of you because they're pulling into the pits. It is quite off-putting. I've definitely seen drivers go straight onto that chicane because they've kind of let off the brakes a little bit to try and brake even later than the person they're next to before realizing that actually that person's pitting. So it can be a very tricky thing. Hindle is in the pits now for, I'm assuming, a set of ultra soft tires. A race leader is in. He's going to fall back. Whereabouts in the field? I think, to be honest, he may actually come out in second place ahead of Shumi Garcia. Does look like that will be the case. So Hindle will be able to chase down TV1 Hamilton. Hamilton will have a fairly considerable gap on him. But Hindle, we know, is a former World Series champion, and he's on that faster compounded tire. He's got about 10 seconds to make up in 12 laps. Not completely out of the question.
It will be really exciting to watch the end, to see GP1 Hamilton on his debut. On his debut race, just challenging Hindle. My English, it broke sometimes, I don't know why. But Hindle, a very, very experienced driver who's got many points on the World Series, just battling a debut driver for his first win. It's exciting. I love to see this one going to the end. But looking at the gap, it's already underneath 10 seconds at the moment. So I fear a bit for Hamilton, but ultimately it goes for the win for the reserve class. But it would be nice for him to just win the lobby,
Yeah, let's see if Hindle now he will catch him in the matter like around lap 30, 31. We might see a fight in the last four laps, but how far Hindle's tires will be fresh for this fight. So we're seeing Hindle is a one-stop or two-stop, guys?
One stop. I believe that's his only stop. Coming to get you is all of the back of Konzo as well.
Yeah.
Just a couple of tenths behind. These guys are.
I'm on
they're
him.
both the World Series drivers. They're not reserves, but yeah, I mean, this is probably foreshadowing something to come for the rest of this season. Konzo currently, well, he's the reigning champion. He's leading the championship at the moment, coming to get you moving from the World Championship to the World Series due to other commitments on Wednesday evenings. But yeah, he's going to be looking to really show the World Series drivers what he can do. He's done all right in a couple of races so far. Maybe not quite gotten the results that he wants, as he's now trying to go around the outside of Konzo down into the hairpin. That's not going to work too well for him, but he's got better traction out of the hairpin along this back straight. He's in the slipstream. He will have DRS as well. He hasn't enabled it. He's going to try and go around the outside. Konzo defending the inside, forcing him to take that wider line, but coming to get you.
No,
actually Konzo pulls into the pits, and yeah, good job from Konzo there. He actually let Coming to Get You go in front of him before carrying straight on. So yeah, making sure not to cause an incident. But Konzo's got a 5-second stop-go penalty that he's got to serve before putting on a set of ultra-soft tires to run to the end.
That was a daring move on the brake. I mean, the guy behind just goes into the pits, he blasts off, and you just brake in front of him. that could get pretty exciting. Sorry, carry on.
Yeah, one update about Hamilton. He's catching GP1 Hamilton, but he has a 3-second penalty. So effectively, he's now 10.5 behind GP1 Hamilton.
But do you know about penalties about GP1 Hamilton? But let's keep the penalties out of the question. Let's see what happens after the race. Let's just keep the racing.
Surtec using a little bit more than every single inch of the track there, tapping the wall on the outside of the third chicane on the run to the hairpin. He's only half a second behind Coming to Get You now, and we did see him set the fastest lap of the race a few laps ago. I believe it was somewhere in the mid-12s, and he's right on the back of Coming to Get You with considerably faster tires.
Alright, we got a DRS. We got DRS on 3 cars. We got a McLaren in front with an engine, let's say, and we got Surtec Karatepe coming to get you, in fact. And he is pushing, he's looking left and right, he's going wide even. It compromises him. I hope it doesn't get him too much front wing damage from that tap on the wall. It cost him a bit of time, and to be honest, he's got the ultra soft tires on, so he needs this to come he needs to overtake Coming to Get You to make anything out of this stint.
I think Surtec's overtaking Coming to Get You is a matter of time, because he's on the ultra soft side.
Yeah.
Coming to Get You is on the softs. He needs to manage his hairpin entry and exit, because he's struggling over there, and now Overdyking is behind it, putting the pressure, so it's a three-way fight.
Oh yeah.
Getting another penalty.
Yeah, Surtec character, he needs to focus, he needs to just do it and carry on with his race without Coming to Get You. That must be his strategy right now at the moment. Keep your head cool, don't lose your wing on the champion corner, and yeah, carry on. Well, we have a look at Overdyking, having a look at his gearbox. Well, he's looking feisty indeed. He started last, he pitted on lap 1. That's something I have to admire.
Overdyking was incredibly sideways coming out of that final chicane there. Huge sort of oversteer moment for him. Surtec Karatepe just having a little look at Coming to Get You, not going for the move, but just letting him know that he's there. This pair are really piling on the pressure to Coming to Get You now, just all over the back of him. You see Surtec just having a little look again, letting Coming to Get You know that he's there, but he's actually somewhat compromised this line outside of the on the exit there. Overdyking is now going to have a little look down at the hairpin. He does, very late on the brakes in the Haas, and he's got a very tight line through the hairpin. And now it looks like Surtec Karatepe is fighting it back. Better traction around the outside there, and on those ultra soft tires, he is able to maintain the position. And he will have the DRS and the slipstream from Coming to Get You ahead of him. So Karatepe holds on, but yeah, he's going to need to get past Coming to Get You fairly quickly. If he wants to keep himself ahead of Overdyking towards the end of this race, because Overdyking's tires should start to come to his advantage a little bit more as this battle continues. Hint also just know that Hindle up front is closing that gap pretty quickly to GP1 Hamilton. It's now only 5 seconds.
Yeah, and Surtek just needs one attack that he can stick. One real attack while he's under pressure from Overdiking, who is having a look but doesn't really manage to do anything about the position. But as I said, Carrot Tepe just need one real attack, not looking, not feeling, just one real attack to make one happen. I mean, if you do half an attack, you just lose time, you lose momentum. You need one real attack or just keep following.
He needs to. Oh, he's trying now. He heard you. He heard you.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, that's really true.
Now he's got,
of course.
Yes, he's very close to coming to Getty, and let's see if he's gonna do it during. And coming to Getty goes defensive very early before the straight, and he's squeezing Surtek into the wall. Oh, God.
Oh no! Oh! We said the momentum.
I think that was always going to happen there, trying to go too wide through that chicane, and yeah, that's never going to end well. Started just kind of pulling over here. I think this may be a retirement from him, and it is, but Overdiking has no front wing either. And yeah, there's just no space.
To cut you off there. Council was battling with Alimentine. Alimentine just went off. He broke too late into the corner. He overshot it, and it was an easy pass for Konzo.
Excellent stuff there. But yeah, that final chicane. I mean, you know, if you're side by side, it's almost like a game of chicken into there. I mean, you know that two cars aren't going to fit, and someone has to back out. But neither driver did, and it was sort of Carrot Tepe and then Overdiking behind that came off worse for wear. Now Coming to Get You is sitting in a very, very comfortable 4th position. Field is looking a little bit more spread out now again, but yeah, this gap up front, we've got Hindle. He is closing this gap down. It's just about 4 seconds now. We've still got quite a lot of work to do in these last 5 laps.
Oh, but the gap, I'm looking at it. We said a few laps ago, he got 10 seconds and 12 laps. He's got now 5-6 laps for 3 seconds. So I think he is on schedule to make life hard for GP1 Hamilton. This race will finish in the end. We have to stay tied with the action, and I think Hindle, he's got his eye on the prize. GP1 Hamilton, he's looking in his mirrors. He knows Hindle is there. I don't know if he knows that Hindle is a really, really great driver for some extra pressure, but I'm sure he's getting a bit nervous.
Well, I hope Hindle catches up GP1 Hamilton to see some nice driving.
Got Overdiking straight out of the pits here. He's all over the back of Danny Railton, who's on some fairly worn super softs. Overdiking's going to have a little look up the inside, but he's not quite close enough to get that move done. Danny Railton losing the back end of his Force India there. Again, it's going to be close down into the 3rd chicane. Overdiking not quite close enough. He'll probably have a look down into the hairpin. He's been very quick and late onto the brakes down there all race long. He's side by side now. He has the inside line, and he's, oh, look how late he is on the brakes, pretty comfortably ahead going through the hairpin. Danny Railton just getting caught a little bit on that inside curb, and that's ended any hopes of him coming back Overdiking along this back straight.
Gap between Hindle and GP1 Hamilton is about 2 seconds. Hindle now is pushing like there's no tomorrow.
So GP1 Hamilton, I'm sure he is getting nervous right now. Let's see. I mean, this is what the reserve is all about. I mean, we got the drivers from the World Series, we got drivers from the championship, we got reserves, and the reserves are just showing what they have. And I mean, what is more reserved than your first race? And now we have the chance to see what GP1 Hamilton is made of. Can he handle the pressure of Hindle having a look at his back while he negotiates a Ghost Car or Caribbean Crush?
Yeah, I mean, talk about that. You've got a former World Series champion raining down on you in the final laps of the race. Proper sort of trial by fire here for GP1 Hamilton. We'll see how he handles it.
Yeah, it's a bit like all those classic American movies, like the underdog fights the champion, and there's always a big finale. So let's see the big finale in these last 3 laps just showing down. Let's see if GP Hamilton has the courage to make a stand against Hindle, the former world champion of the World Series.
Yeah, and he's now within DRS range, so let's see. And now he's locking his tires. I think he's feeling the heat from behind.
I can't contain myself with excitement looking at this feisty fight with Hindle and GP1 Hamilton. This is amazing stuff. Ooh, GP1 Hamilton is getting feisty with swerving all over the road. He sees him. Hindle knows Hamilton sees him, and he's ready to fight.
Yeah, he's trying to break the slipstream before he catches him. So let's see his tactics. I know he's a clean driver, but let's see how he handles a champion behind him.
How he handles the Hindle.
Yeah.
Oh, we got Anders and Danny Rilton just crashing into the 3rd chicane there. Anders trying to go around the outside, and Danny Rilton just squeezing him a little bit too much, and both of them are in the wall with some significant damage.
I have to cut you off. We got Hindle fighting for P1. Hindle is on the inside for GP1 Hamilton, but he backs off. Sorry, Curry, but we just had to see it on for battling for P1. Ooh, well, I said that. We got Hindle going around the outside. Does he manage? He's got a nose in front. He's got the outside. He cuts him off on the inside. Does he have a big traction? No, he doesn't, but he does have DRS. Well, we see another 5-second stop and go penalty on the left side of our screen for Anders. We got Hindle going out around the outside. GP1 Hamilton defending the inside. We got 2 wide into the last corner of the track. We got a wall of champions. We got GP1 Hamilton in the wall of champions. Well, I hope he doesn't have too much damage.
He has a wing damage. Like Curly said many times, that chicane is a single line.
Yeah.
It has a single line. 2 cars doesn't work.
But you know, one famous quote from a famous driver: if you no longer go for a gap that exists, I mean it exists at the beginning of the corner, you're no longer a racing driver. So GP1 Hamilton, he tried, but unfortunately for him, he lost a bit of wing. But it was a good fight to see with 2 laps remaining.
Well, it's not over yet, because as Roadrunner mentioned before, we do know that Hindle has a couple penalties.
He had 6 seconds.
So,
wow. He had to make like
yeah, I mean, GP1 Hamilton, he is missing half of his wing. But if he can stay within 6 seconds, and it's not going to be easy with half of a wing, but if he can stay within that, then he will still be the winner from this race. So he's just got to try and keep it consistent, don't make mistakes on these laps, and hopefully stay within that 6-second margin of Hindle. But he's losing. Well, he's lost a huge amount of downforce, so that will be difficult.
I think Hindle is making a mistake, because I saw GP1 Hamilton. He backed up. He switched around the 2.5 second mark. Well, it's 3 seconds now, but it. Let's see if Hindle can go much further than that. Well, we have a look at Overdijking, I guess, who is getting a bit close to Elementine. He will get DRS around this second to last final back straight, and yeah, let's see if we can get a few more points, my fellow Dutch racing driver.
Overdijking is absolutely flying at the moment. Clearly the quickest driver on the track. I do believe he's been posting lap times in the 1:11s, which is pretty much qualifying times at the moment. So yeah, he's actually going to have a run onto Alain down towards turn 1. Alain just squeezing a little bit, but not too much. Overdijking goes down the inside very late on the brakes. Actually runs too far wide. A bit of wheel banging between him and Alain, but Alain on these soft tires, and he's missing a lot of wing. He's not able to do anything about it. Yeah, we do have Hindle now coming to the final chicane. He will cross the line first on track, but we do know he has some penalties, and he has actually slowed down. I think Hindle is going to let GP1 Hamilton take the win on track. He does, and that's
wow. That's
nice to see. I mean, Hindle was he was going to lose it on penalties anyway, but I think that's a kind gesture to let GP1 Hamilton take it. P1 on track. Jimmy Garcia comes home in 3rd place, coming to get you. Will take 4th position after that contact between him and Surtek and over Daiking. Konzo in 5th. Maybe a little bit of a disappointing result for him as he's moving across the line. He's had a good time here today. Good practice session for him. Over Daiking has got Al Montine actually coming back up behind him on this final lap down into the final chicane, but Al Montine's just got absolutely no turn in with that front wing. And these two, I'm not quite sure what they're doing. I think they're trying to let the other one, both of them are each trying to let the other one go across the line first. Al Montine does get the place over Daiking with a few penalties, I think. Surtek Garatsepe will come home in 8th. Unfortunate with that contact with coming to get you. Danny Railson will be 9th. Gonk is just a few tenths behind him. But I do believe Gonk just nabbed the position there on penalties at the end.
So who are our podium sitters for the reserves? Besides GP1 Hamilton, I think Al Montine, or who's from the reserve remains?
No, it won't actually be Al Montine. Al Montine grabbed a full-time spot for Lilian for Monaco. So that means our top reserve drivers would actually be I think GP1 Hamilton, but then looking at the way down the list, I'm not actually sure if we have another reserve finisher.
Oh, really?
Wow. Yeah, I don't think that we do, which is unfortunate. So perhaps what we could do is we could get just the podium here on track, so we could have GP1 Hamilton, Hindle, and Shumi Garcia, and just do a sort of regular podium set of interviews.
I'm all for it.
I think the remainder of the reserve drivers crashed out of this race, which is unfortunate. But yeah, I mean, that's why we have the drivers from the World Series and the World Championship come in, so that we've got a little bit of a fuller grid, but also so that we can get a real sort of direct comparison between the reserve drivers and also the full-time drivers, just to see how they're getting on. And you've got to say GP1 Hamilton, battling with the likes of Hindle for the win today. That's looking very promising for him.
Yeah, I think we saw an amazing race. I mean, I talked a bit about it. GP1 Hamilton, first race, battling with a world champion and winning. Well, he didn't get a penalty. I mean, that is consistency. I'm loving that one.
Yeah, he's a clean driver. He keeps the car within the white lines, and it was unfortunate what happened between him and Hindle, but kudos to Hindle for giving him back the win.
Yeah. Really awesome stuff tonight we saw. It's really sportsmanship that we love to see at Front Row Racing.
Okay,
I'll just send the invites to the podium drivers.
All right, thank you very much, Curly. So while we're waiting for our drivers to get into the party chat, so Roadrunner, shall we go through question of the day one more time, just to cover the time?
Yeah. When did Gilles Villeneuve get his first win? Which year was that? And the bonus question is which circuit?
All right. So Gilles Villeneuve, just to be sure, it's not Jacques Villeneuve, it's Gilles Villeneuve.
Oh.
Sorry,
that's really French from you.
Yeah, that's my really shitty French impersonation. Well, he's not even French.
No, he's just going full French impersonation there.
Oh yeah. I'll just ask any Frenchman if he speaks English, then it will be fine for me. So, enough laughter. Do we have some interview?
I think I'll have a crack at this question of the day. It's a little bit before my time, but I'm gonna say, I think, was he driving in the sort of 80s and 90s? I think I'm gonna say in '89. That's my guess for his first win.
Actually, the man drove 3 seasons and he died. So I don't think your answer is right.
Oh, it must be earlier than that then. Okay, I'll go 81.
Close
All
enough.
right. Curly, I will write it down. 1981. All right. So
we have GP1 Hamilton and Shumi Garcia on board. We're still waiting for Hindle.
Yeah, I hope he understands that he gets the invitation. I mean, normally we don't invite the normal drivers, but it would be fun to have him with us. But in the
Yeah.
meantime, to keep stuff going, if you guys are for it, we can have a look at our winner today, GP1 Hamilton.
GP1 Hamilton, or shall I say David, if you can first of all make sure in the body settings that your microphone is set to
Allowed
has
to
the
be
correct
shared.
settings.
Yeah, allowed to be
Allowed to
shared.
be shared. And your mic is a bit higher. Yeah, a bit. It's a bit low. If you can increase your volume. Yeah,
Yeah,
better.
it's fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Excellent. No need to scream.
Bit of an echo, but it will be all fine.
Okay, David, your debut race, pole and a win. Yeah, that was a nice fight going. Do you know that Hindle is a series champion? So you were fighting with the champion. Can you talk us through your race? It was a bit calm after the first couple of laps. Can you tell us what happened with Ander going into the hairpin? We saw him crashing into you. Ander, yeah. Well, that's a nice drive by you in that Renault, in that banana car. Well, last question, then I hand you to Curly and Niels. If you were offered a seat in the championship, the main series, would you care to join? Okay, Curly, up to you.
Thanks, Roadrunner. First of all, just want to say congratulations. Great drive there. Always good to see a driver come in and win on their debut. It's a special thing, so congratulations for that. I've just really got one question for you. You ran kind of long in that first stint. I think you did 14 laps on the Ultra Softs, and then when you came out of the pits, Serta Karatepe had pitted considerably before you had and had actually undercut you. I'm just wondering what the thoughts were, sort of strategy-wise there, and why you chose to run so long in that first stint. Excellent stuff, mate, and congratulations for that. Bleeding, do you have any questions for our winner, GP1 Hamilton?
Yeah, so welcome to the comms box. I hope you have many of these in the future. So for me, congratulations. It's really special to see you win on your debut race. It was really fun for us to watch you have battles. Qualifying was exciting with the pole. I don't know if you knew, but I forgot the guy in second, Anders. He was out of fuel in the last 4 or 5 meters, and he just lost out. He was really quick, but you got pole, which was really exciting for us to see. I'm honored to see your debut race. It was really fantastic to watch, and you handled the Hindle, let's say, to for battle for P2. Oh, sorry, for P1, and yeah, awesome stuff to see. I don't really have any questions. Great stuff. Yeah, so stick around with us. We've got still got the question of the day, and we have a bit of a talk with P2. So we got Hindle. Hindle, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What a good race. Good race.
It was you had a feisty battle with P1 with the Jeep1 Hamilton. Did you know he was his first race?
Well, I hadn't seen him before, so I presumed he was new.
So yeah, well, as I said, it was a great battle for us to see. We saw a great gesture at the end to let him win. Did you know he didn't really have penalties, or why did you do it?
Well, one, obviously, like, I had the penalties. Two, I thought he deserved it a bit more because we'd had that contact at the last chicane, which actually got me a penalty because I cut the corner when we contacted, so that wasn't great. But I just thought, yeah, his first race, he would have won it regardless anyway. But if he crossed the line in first, so. Hopefully that gives him a bit more confidence, and we'll see him in either of the championship or series sometime.
Yeah, maybe. We saw a great. It's his spot tonight. We saw a great race from him. Thank you for the answer on my question. So, Curdy, you got a question for Hindle?
Yeah, Hindle qualifying. P11, you were kind of, about 10 seconds off a pole. Was that just, what was that, a conscious decision to try and get 11th place, or was that just some mayor of a qualifying session?
No, I was actually 2 temps up on pole coming into the last sector, and I completely bottle jobbed the last chicane, so I just slammed the brakes on and decided to start last, but I wasn't even last, so... Yeah, I was actually expecting to be that quick, because I seen them 2 guys at the top set really good time. I thought, well, I tell you what, they're good laps then. And then as I come to the airpin, I was 2 temps up, I was like, alright. But I think regardless of the last chicane, I'd have stopped anyway to start the back. It's not about me, it's about these guys.
And we'll just kind of move on to sort of the series. I know that you're planning on doing just a couple more races before going and joining the forces. For the race next Thursday. What's the sort of plan for that? Perhaps what have you learned from the race today that you can take into the World Series race next week?
Setup was good. Strategy, I think. I've not decided because I honestly thought the 2-stop would have been quicker, but it didn't seem like that the case today. And not to follow people round corners because you get cuts, you get warnings, and you get penalties.
All right, fantastic. Roadrunner, do you have any questions for Hindle?
Yeah, Hindle, congratulations on your 2nd position, and kudos for you for the move with the GP1 Hamilton. Going back to the middle of the race, we saw you fighting with Ferraris and McLarens. I don't remember with who, but as you said, you had the following cars was a bit hectic for you today.
Yeah, well, especially quite a few of them were lagging quite a bit, so I was a bit put off by that. You know, they were lagging back into me, and then they were drifting around corners and stuff. So that wasn't particularly great, but yeah, it's quite an easy track to overtake on, but it is quite. I think on any track really. I think it's just general in this game. It's quite difficult to follow a car really close. But yeah, hopefully that won't be the case next week.
Well, congratulations again, and hats off for the move with GP1 Hamilton. Now off to our third position, Shumi Garcia. Congratulations, my friend.
Thanks, mate.
Lots of action with you today, especially with damaged front wing.
Yeah, that was a bit. I don't know how the start was because I had a really bad start and I was jammed into turn 1, but then I was having a good battle with Caribbean Crush, but he braked too early and I broke my wing, so that was just about it for my race. And I know those top twos, congratulations to them. They were too much faster with me, before me, so congratulations.
Were you thinking of I think you did a force to stop today.
No, I only did a one stop.
One stop. Did you ever think of maybe doing an undercut and going for this two stop?
No.
Yeah, because we saw like Certec did that. He moved to Ultrasofts and he was super fast and he was catching cars in front of him. So I don't know, maybe.
I was planning to do a one stop because I had to invent my setup because at the beginning on qualifying I noticed that I didn't have any setup saved for Canada and I just invented it and I was pretty good on the tires and I thought, oh well, just do a one stop. Maybe we'll get through it.
That's an amazing job to invent a setup in an official race, and just you were going into the race today blind.
Yeah.
Good job, my friend. Good job.
Thank you.
Off to you, Bleeding.
Yeah, thank you very much for giving me the word. Well done on your third race. I mean, you told us that you had quite a bit of difficulty going into the race. We saw you with a lot of battles during the race. I'm sorry, I don't really have a question for you, but well done to get on the podium. I'm sure it feels a bit of a relief after all the turn 1 hectics.
Yeah. I would just like to say. My collision with coming to get you, I had nowhere to go if he's listening. Sorry about that, mate, but I won't put my car off.
Okay, thank you for that. So I think that concludes our questions for.
I've got one.
Sorry. Sorry.
I've got one for Shumi. Yeah,
So really,
I'll jump in here. I'll follow on from Roadrunner on the setup thing because you seem to be, well, to be honest, an absolute rocket in a straight line, at least compared to Hindle and Caribbean Crush. I mean, was that a conscious decision to go for lower wings, or was that just sort of how things turned out?
It just turned out. I've done this track before, but honestly, I think I deleted the setup because I know I'm much faster in this track. But I remember the wings, so I was running 1.6, so that might have given me the straight line speed.
Yeah, maybe so, and obviously you can find a little bit of time probably with the setups for next week in the World Series. So yeah, congratulations today, and good luck for that in a week's time. Yeah, I think we got a question of the day. Bleeding will handle that, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I'll hand it to Roadrunner with his question of the day tonight.
Yeah. So guys, make a guess. You never know if you win or not. Since you've been driving in Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, do you know when was Gilles Villeneuve's first win? Which year was that? And a bonus question: in which circuit? Off to you, GP1 Hamilton. David.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright.
Wait.
Repeat the question.
Yeah. Which year was Gilles Villeneuve's first win?
Oh, jeez.
Scares you a little bit.
I'll say 84.
84.
Okay, thank you, David. Let's hear from Shumi.
I have no clue, but about 74.
Okay. Do we have any answer, Curly, from YouTube chat?
I don't think we've had any guesses from the YouTube, so unless Bleeding wants to have a final go, unless he knows the answer.
I know
Okay,
I'll be honest. I know the answer already.
Okay.
GP1, do you have a final answer? I mean, you said 77, 79. All right.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
we've got
yeah.
to guess. We've got to guess whereabouts it was as well, don't we?
So
I will guess in Italy.
Okay. I think David's today is doing fine, getting pole, getting race win. He was close on the year because it was in 1978, and yes, it was in Gilles Villeneuve in Canada. Good boy. Good boy. And yeah, in Canada, and actually the man died and his last win was in 1983, and he died a year after. Curly, because Curly gave us an answer like 89.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that was closer to Gilles Villeneuve, to Jacques Villeneuve. Guys, I think this concludes our broadcast tonight. We got on next week. We got the World Championship and the World Series battling it out. The World Championship being no assist allowed. The series being assist allowed racing. This championship going on. It's really exciting to watch. As some of us drove in it. And be sure to check that out on our YouTube channel from Front Row Racing. Thank you for podium sitters. Well done again on the driving or having a stellar drive tonight. Thank you for my co-commentators Curly Whirly and F1 Roadrunner. I think that's all for tonight. Curly, Roadrunner, have a good night. Again, everybody watching, thank you for tuning in tonight, and we'll see you on the next broadcast. Have a good night, and see you all again.